Welcome to The Trader, a Traitors podcast. I'm Matthew, a writer working in unscripted TV, and this podcast is dedicated mostly to English-speaking versions of the TV phenomenon The Traitors. However, we have also covered The Traitors India and other strategy competition shows like Netflix's Million Dollar Secret and ITV's Genius Game. This brand new season of the podcast is dedicated to the first UK celebrity edition of The Traitors. We will be deep diving into every episode of the show by recapping the main events, analysing the tactics and gameplay, and maybe even telling a little lie or two along the way. I'll be joined by a different co host every episode, and kicking off this new podcast season is someone who joins me as per tradition and as requested by the lovely Traitors listeners. It's my returning guest co host, Lindsay Chisholm. Lindsay is a movie and TV buff with a particular expertise in various anime, anything with a supernatural edge, and of course, various international versions of The Traitors. We met 20 years ago at the movies where we worked. It's my bestie, Lindsay!
Oh, hello.
Woo! You're back to open a new season with me, Lindsay. How do you feel about that?
I feel honored. I feel honored.
Good. Uh,
Thanks.
our we've covered lots of versions of the traitors now. We've done UK, US, Australia, Ireland. What were you most looking forward to about this celebrity series of UK traitors?
Well, there's three people that I absolutely adore in it, so mm,
Okay.
airtime's good.
Who are those three people?
Jonathan
Can I
Ross.
guess? Oh.
Oh, right, okay, go.
Jonathan Ross. Um, actually, I don't know who else you care about. Lucy Beaumont?
No. Well, obviously I do care, but she's not one of my favorites.
Oh, Alan Carr.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There's another one.
Is it a comedian?
No.
Is it Claire Balding?
No.
Okay,
Don't be
who is
obsessed
it?
with Claire's.
I love Claire.
Stephen Fry.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Fry. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And two of those are going to be spoiler. Two of those are going to be playing a pretty big role, so I'm guessing you were happy about that.
Um, talk about it when we get to that, but
Okay,
I've
okay,
got quite a
right.
lot of thoughts on that.
Okay, good. I can't wait to hear them. Now, we are going to be diving into episode one. Obviously, we are spoiling things about the episode. If you're listening to this podcast, I assume you've watched episode one. We've not seen any more than that. Episode two, as we're recording this, hasn't aired yet, so we don't know what's coming next. We might reference other versions of the traitors from around the world. We're not going to spoil winners from other seasons, but we might compare it to other versions, so just be warned. Before we dive into this episode one, back, Lindsay, by popular demand, and by popular demand, I mean two people
Thank
asked me
you.
about it. It's
Thank you, those two people.
I didn't mean you back by popular demand. I was going to introduce
Oh,
something. Obviously, you're back by. Obviously, people always say, "I hope Lindsay's coming back," but something else that's coming back apart from you.
oh, no.
It's time to initiate our podcast game, The Trader Traitor. Inspired by traitors' viewers' claims that, they could easily spot the traitors' lies and deceptions and that the faithful are idiots for not realizing, we're going to be playing our own game of secrecy and betrayal and putting this to the test. So, the mission for Lindsay and I from here on in this podcast episode is to tell a sneaky lie to one another. The lie has to be a complete fabrication, a made up fact, big or small. It could be about the traitors, could be about anything. For example, I could lie and say that I have already seen episode two and I got a special preview sent to me and I know exactly what's going to happen next, which I don't. However, I couldn't lie and say that I don't like Alan Carr and I didn't laugh at him once and don't think he's funny. That would be a fake. It's pretty, I'm kidding on. It's a fake opinion. So we're not including fake opinions. We're not looking for fake
I've out
ideas and
loud like at least like three
thoughts.
or four times at Alan.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking for fake facts, false pieces of
Yeah.
information in this game. Like if I said, "Did you know that Alan Carr actually trained as a dentist?" That'd be a fake fact. Listeners, it's also time to put your skills to the test and see if anything lights up your radar by the end of the episode. Lindsay and I will test our traitor hunting abilities and see if we can successfully catch and banish the other person. Lindsay, are you ready to betray me?
Hells yeah!
Were you laughing when I was explaining the game because you were thinking about the times before when we played this? Or were
Yeah,
you thinking about the lie that you prepared?
no, because every time we play it, I always either forget, and it's like a rushed one. But the last lie I told you was a really good one, so
It was.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to like do better.
Well,
I've
I
got
hope
one,
not.
I've got one,
Okay,
but
okay.
yeah, just need to give me time to actually like insert the lie somewhere,
Well, that's your problem. That's up to you.
Mr. Chatty Man.
Well, Lindsay, our game begins now, and it is time for us to dive into episode one of the Celebrity Traitors series one. So the castle looms into shot, and Claudia's checking out the celebrity portraits, just giving us little comments on them. Our owl's back, which I was happy to see.
Yep,
And by the way, listeners, if you don't know all of the cast, of course, you can go back and listen to the preview episode that I recorded with my special guest Magicor, where we went through the cast list and we explained who everybody is. So you could go back and listen. That's the most recent episode of the pod. There are 19 celebrities. So we get lots of little slow-mo shots of them around the castle, looking very moodily at the camera, and Claudia gives her voiceover to explain the rules of the game. I'm sure there will be people watching this series who have never watched The Traitors before, but because it's a celebrity version,
yeah,
they're tuning in to see people that they know.
yep,
So I do think some people won't actually know the rules of the game, so that they kind of do need this.
yeah.
And the overnight figures for the first episode were 6.1 million viewers watching it, which these days in the UK, that is a really big number. That's a huge hit show. The only episode of The Traitors UK that's had more was the finale of the last series. I think that had 7 million. So this is a really, really great start. The BBC will be really pleased with that. We do get a couple of
Might be a
little
lie.
preview. Could be my lie.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
There's a couple of little preview shots of like things that are probably going to come up this season. We do see a coffin lid shut, so I think that's gonna maybe be like something we've seen before on the Traitors. That's what I'm guessing is happening soon.
Likely.
Uh, there's some lovely, beautiful Highland shots. Looks just like Falkirk Lindsay's, isn't it?
Yeah, Kelpies.
The Kelpies, the Falkirk Wheel.
Falkirk Wheel. Do you remember that time we were in Barcelona and it was like torrential downpour and there was two people with the Falkirk Wheel ponchos beside us?
I do remember it well. I felt
Yeah.
very famous. So it's just like the beautiful scenes that we're seeing here on the Traitors in the Highlands.
Yep.
So we've got the guests journeying to the castle. It starts with your fave, Stephen Fry. He's standing on a road. He's got his little invitation note, and he ends up sharing a jeep with Celia. And I'm going to call him Rugby Joe because we've got two Joes. We've got
Okay.
Comedy Joe, Rugby Joe. This is Rugby Joe,
Okay.
and uh, I'm just like engrossed. Like I just love it. Like them pulling up in the car. I wondered if they didn't know who else was in the cast because like the way Stephen is like Celia Emery, like maybe he didn't really know she was going to be there. Like, did you get a sense of whether they all knew who else was in the cast?
Well, this was one of the things I wanted to discuss. Like,
Okay,
obviously, if you're like a normal person and you're going into it, you're like, hi, I'm such and such, da, 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 da. But they're all like really, really familiar with each, like all of them are familiar with each other. So I think all
yeah,
of them have met each other at some point.
yeah,
Like they're
yeah,
very like chilled and it's the hugs and all the rest of it. And so I think they knew, to
yeah.
be honest.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. There's definitely a different atmosphere because you're right.
Hmm.
They at least some of them know some of the others, so it's not like a bunch of strangers. And yeah, some of them probably did know a few of the others. I still think there might be surprises. Like some of them might not have known everybody on the cast. So I'd
Yeah.
quite like to think that there were a few little surprises.
Hmm.
We've got Alan, Paloma, Tom Daly, Kat Burns. They're in a Jeep together. Jonathan, Ruth, Nico, and Claire. Ruth says that she loves causing chaos, apparently. I said this on the preview app. I didn't know who Ruth was before this. Like I'm not familiar with her.
I still don't.
I still don't. I know that she's an actress,
Yeah.
but I've I actually got quite a good impression of her now. Like after this episode, I quite like her. I think she could be really
Yeah.
funny. I'm excited to see what happens, unless obviously she gets murdered in the next episode.
Well,
The Jeeps then, they all pull up together in a convoy. It's very dramatic. We've got Lucy, we've got Comic Joe, Kate, David, they're together. Lucy's saying it's like Eurovision. I would love a Traitors Eurovision crossover. They could give out points at the round table. Like if you get null point, you're banished,
no
something like
point.
that. Maybe every player represents a country.
Mm.
Um, and Sweden would just win like all the time, something like that.
Sweden wouldn't
There's
turn up and they'd still win.
But there's someone you didn't said you didn't really know is Mark.
Hmm.
He's an actor.
Hmm.
He's Scottish, so he's
Hmm.
representing. I'm glad that there's a Scottish person in the Scottish castle in the
Yep.
Scottish setting.
Yep.
We've got Charlotte Church.
Charlotte
Uh,
Church.
Charlotte. It's funny that there's a real Welsh Charlotte this time instead of a fake Welsh Charlotte, like
Yeah.
Lassie's of UK
Yeah.
Traitors. We've got Nick, we've got Tamika, they're all together. Mark's saying he wants to be himself. He thinks that'll stand him in good stead in this game. Stephen Fry's chatting a bit about how they're all sort of blind going into the gate, like they don't know how they're going to respond, how they're going to react, what's it going to feel like. They're going to have to be very wise. And Nico thinks that nobody's going to know who he is. And later on realizes actually
Yeah.
that's not the
Stephen
case.
Fry's like, hmm,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
hmm.
I sort of knew who Nico was. When I saw his name, I didn't recognize it. And when I saw him, I thought, oh, I actually have watched you on some YouTube videos doing little games and competitions. He does one of these things with the Sidemen. Do you know the Sidemen?
No.
Do you know KSI, who he's like a judge on Britain's Got Talent now?
And
He
I
always
would know
wears
him
like
to
a sort
look
of
at,
bandana.
but I
Yeah.
don't know like what he does. Is he a singer,
He
rapper, actor?
I don't know if he raps, but he became a big YouTuber. He's in this group called the Sidemen, and they all
Right,
started in
okay.
sort of gaming and esports, and now they've got millions of followers on YouTube. They've got a new Netflix series, but Nico does things with them quite often. They play games online where they have to trick each other, do accents to pretend to other people that they're from a different country,
Like we do.
like he's from Australia, and I believe it. Um, so Nico might be. A lot of people sent me messages before this show aired saying, watch out for Nico. They're going to make him a traitor. He's going to be amazing. Turns out they don't pick him, but I kind of thought he would end up being. We've got Lucy talking about alliances with Comedy Joe, but he's like, no, no, I'm a lone wolf.
Mm,
I think
standoffish, eh?
he's kidding a bit, but I kind of feel he probably is a bit of a loner. Actually, he probably
Yeah.
does. Will just end up doing his own thing. And as we arrive to the castle, Stephen says, "What's coming is a blizzard of horror." But well, we think they're arriving to the castle, but actually they're not. We see this gravedigger like chiseling something onto a tombstone, and we've got Claudia saying, "Keep going, they're almost here." Like I'm so obsessed with this. I just love it. It's so dramatic and over the top and cinematic, and it's like total event TV. I love it.
Did you like
And
how
the
she had
player,
celebrities in the back of her cloak as well?
I did love
Celebrities.
celebrities with little
Yeah.
inverted commas or speech marks for the American listeners.
She might get a little
Uh,
cameo in here in a second, by the way.
a cameo from a
I
dog.
have Arlo, my whippet, who's wanting to know why I've got Skittles here and she's not getting one.
Well, she's not allowed any.
No, she's not.
So the players see the castle then and they get very excited and then scared because they can't leave the jeeps and there's a bit of an
Yeah.
uncomfortable wait and then the jeeps all leave again. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering what this means. Are we going to a mission straight away? Is someone going to get kicked out immediately? Do they have to make their own way to the castle? And they end up pulling up in a cemetery with their names on the tombstones and there's Claudia with her cape. And now we get out the Jeeps, and
Yep.
Tamika, she is not ready for this terrain. She has not worn the right shoes for this. And here's, like you talked about, they're all sort of meeting and saying hi, and
Yeah.
then they notice their names are on the graves. I would like to take a moment for Claudia's boots. Did you notice the boots?
They're huge.
They're huge. They are.
And she's got
I'm quite obsessed with them.
tiny wee skinny leggies.
Yes.
Yep.
Nick even sees her and is like, ah, it's Claudia. Like, he's so excited. And I she's like fully in character straight away, like playing it very seriously. I would love to see in between takes if she sort of breaks character and just like laughs with them all, or if she tries to keep separate a bit to maintain the character.
I
Like, I don't
think she'd
know.
maintain the character. Claudia is very professional.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And she tells them that she will be choosing the traitor shortly, but first there's an opportunity to win a shield, but not just for one of them, for six of them. So yeah, we're having a mission straight away. And I'm going to say, I've said this on the pod before, I really like the missions where you could win a shield because I feel like there's more at stake. Like there's a
Yeah.
reason to do the mission.
Yeah.
Quite often when they're playing to bank money, they sort of just are always successful and they always
Yeah.
get some money, so it doesn't really feel like there's much jeopardy. But when there's a shield at stake, you want to see who's going to get it, who's going to try really hard for it, who's going to give up. How are the traitors gonna? I know there's no traitors yet, but
But then
uh,
if you've got the shield, you can be like, right, I can chill for like 24 hours and not like, do you know what I
yes,
mean?
yeah, it
What am
really
I like?
affects gameplay. So, we've got Tom telling us that, of course, he's an athlete, he's an Olympian, he's going to be really competitive, and he and Claire, they're the sporty people. They're ready to go. Like if Mel C was there, she'd be like ready immediately because obviously she's Sporty Spice.
Oh. Do you know, I'm quite surprised, like, you know how Tom Daly knits,
Yes.
right? I've been learning how to knit off him
Okay.
and I'm making a blanket.
Oh, is it for me?
No,
Does
it's
it say
quite,
the trader on it?
no, I'm not that skilled. Um, it's supposed to be a nice blanket and I was going to give it to somebody for their Christmas, but it's so bad. So I'm going to have to go back and rewatch.
Are you saying that Tom's lessons were appalling and that's it's
Um,
his fault?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
sure for
blaming it
Tom.
on Tom.
hmm
Okay, okay.
hmm
Might be a good Olympian, but not a good teacher. So Claudia, she gives them this countdown, and they literally have to dig their own graves looking for shields. So Nick immediately helps Celia.
I love that. That was so sweet.
I mean, it was sweet, and
She's
Celia at first is like, "Oh, Nick's helping me,"
Celia's a
but
lady.
she
Like to do
is.
things like that.
She's a very classy lady. I love
Yes.
Celia. He says he says this thing. He's like, it makes sense to help one another because no one's a traitor yet.
hmm
So I kind of get it that he's like, well, there's not really a reason to mistrust anyone yet.
He's being a
So
gentleman.
you may as well, like, nobody's gonna be suspicious that you're a traitor, and that's why you're helping somebody because you don't really need to shoot. So, it, yeah, he's saying like, well, nobody's gonna accuse us of sabotage or teaming up with other traitors because none of us are
Yeah.
traitors. But still,
Nobody even spoke
um,
about it though.
well, no one spoke about it except Celia very briefly later when she
Yeah.
she does wonder for a moment, like, why did he do that? And I actually think he's not just being nice. I think he's trying to form a little alliance and get somebody on side immediately. That's my
Right, okay.
skeptical side. I think he's like, I'm going to make friends with someone. I'm
I
going to
think
help
he's just being a
Celia.
gentleman.
Okay. But what? Why doesn't he want to save himself? Just like Nick, get your shield first and then help Celia.
I think if I was in that position, I would help her first as well.
Okay. I wouldn't.
Ah, yeah, I know.
Yeah. I said it. I'd be selfish.
Can we
I'd get
discuss
mine.
how Charlotte Church has got a white dress
Oh my God, yes.
and how it's still clean at the end?
I know. I thought she was going to have mud all over her, but
Yeah.
she's like, gets back into the Jeep spotless.
Did you also notice the amount of boobage that was going on?
I did, yeah.
There was no need for that, for goodness sake.
Well, she can't help it.
It's not just Charlotte. There was another person as well.
Are you body
Tamika.
shaming them?
No, they're
Okay.
fabulous ladies, but
Okay.
I don't really want to see boobs jingling about when I'm looking for a shield and a grave, you know?
Well, some people do. So, oh, also Tom Daly's got like a white shirt on as well. So I bet he pulled up like, I'm great. I'm going to have to dig in the dirt with my pristine shirt. But
No,
Charlotte's
you never. Did
like,
you not have a shirt, like a check shirt or something on?
I think he had a jacket on, but he takes it off and he's got
Oh
a
yeah,
white
it's round his
shirt.
waist. Aye.
Um, but Charlotte was sort of channeling like Galadriel from Lord of the Rings. She wants to be like one with the Scottish earth and have a
Yep.
sensory experience,
Yep.
um, which is great.
Yep.
Maybe she could do that like after the game, uh,
Yeah.
and prioritize just finding the shield. But
But you know what it's like
Lindsay,
on Scottish soil, though, and you're in the wilderness.
and you
It's
feel the
beautiful.
magic.
It's magical.
And
Magical.
she is a
Wonderful.
crazy chick.
Oh, God.
Do you see
You're
what I did
making
there?
me a crazy chick. You're turning me into a feeling.
Did you have that album like I did?
I didn't have the album, no.
Okay, I thought you were a real fan. So in the end, Jonathan gets a shield first, and he goes to help Kat. Rugby Joe's second. We think Alan's third, and then he
Oh,
realizes he just
I've
found a
got one,
rock.
I've got one. Oh, wait, it's a rock. It's like killing myself.
Loved it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Rugby Joe helps Comedy Joe to find the third. Kate finds the fourth. Charlotte actually does get the fifth, so maybe feeling being one with nature did help. Actually, I made fun of
Maybe,
her and I
yeah.
shouldn't have. And then Nick finds one for Celia. So good for Celia, but Nick, you just don't have a
Yeah,
shield
she
now.
was like, oh, you got one for me.
He should have just kept it. So these six are safe from the first murder. But of course, any of them could soon become a traitor, so they might not even need it, but we'll
Hmm.
see.
Hmm.
And this is where there is a moment where Celia immediately questions if Nick was up to something. Like, was he trying too hard to appear sweet and
Yeah,
helpful?
she's very clued
So
up.
she's and very suspicious. Like throughout the
Hmm.
episode, there's a few times that she's eyeing people. She's got
Yep,
her eye on the game, which I
yep.
appreciate.
Hmm.
And Claudia tells them that next time she sees them, it'll be at traitor selection. So we're back in the Jeeps. Celia and Rugby Joe talk about Nick for a moment. Nico says this thing that's not true. I'm just going to be very mathematical and correct him. He says, now we've got a 1 in 13 chance of being murdered. Because he means like, well, six of us have got shields. But actually, it's a higher, probably going to be a higher chance than 1 in 13. Because again, probably at least one of the people who don't have a shield will end up a traitor, so they can't be murdered either. So they've probably
Not
got like a one in,
necessarily.
not necessarily, but it's quite likely you've got a worse chance than 1 in 13 or a better
Yeah,
chance. I don't know. Claire and Jonathan are talking about allies, and like you said, Lindsay, that some of them already know each other,
yeah,
so that's quite helpful for them. Whereas there's a moment at some point where Kat is talking about how she doesn't really like she knows who they are, but she hasn't
yeah,
met most of them, so she
yeah.
feels a bit like isolated maybe. And another great moment of Alan is when he starts to suspect Jonathan of being a traitor, and then someone's like, "But we've not picked the traitors yet," and he's like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Well, I just don't like him." So that was great.
Love it.
Uh, this time we arrive to the castle for real, and there's more great shots of the grandness of it all and all the beautiful decor. And we enter, and Stephen goes straight to the library. He's very academic, and he's
Yep, yep,
analysing the books,
yep.
and he mentions the objet trouvé, which
Hmm.
means found objects in French, Lindsay, and I know that because I'm on a 900-day streak on Duolingo.
Day 62
Uh,
of Spanish.
oh, well done,
Hmm.
Senora. Sí, señora.
Yep.
Sí, amigo, amiga.
Yeah. A for the girl, O for the boy.
Sí. Adios. I don't know any other Spanish. Sorry.
Adios.
Uh, we've got a listener comment here, by the way, that no, I've got some listener questions and comments at the end of the episode recap, but I'm going to add this one in here. This is from Kirsty on YouTube, and Kirsty makes this quite interesting point that I don't think I've ever thought about before. She says, and I've cut out a wee bit of this because Kirsty refers to a previous series, so don't want to spoil anything. Kirsty says, I've noticed a lot of talk about how perceived class can impact the civilian traitors, like the non-celebrity versions of the traitors. Like
Hmm.
with people who are perceived as being higher class, with like maybe like an RP accent, like a very posh accent, or prestigious jobs or education,
Hmm.
being deemed less trustworthy than those who are perceived as lower status. So like quite often if somebody's got a really high powered job and they speak very well, they can come across as untrustworthy.
I can see
And
that.
Kirsty makes a couple of a reference to previous series to prove how this might be true. And I hadn't thought of it before. She says, I wonder if this will remain the case for the celebrity version. Given the existence of the class ceiling, where most of our celebrities are from wealthy backgrounds, it'll be interesting to see how or if class affects the results. So quite often Kirsty's saying sometimes in shows like this, if people have got a regional accent, like a Scottish accent or a Northern accent, like a Liverpudlian, Scouser, Newcastle,
Yeah.
Welsh, you tend to be seen as maybe friendlier and trustworthy, and people get on with you. But if you've got a very well-spoken London accent or South England, people think. I wonder if it's because there's a connection to like politicians, and people think of that as being untrustworthy if you're like sort of upper class or too posh. So I just thought it was an interesting thing
Yeah.
to think about. Uh, Next up, Tamika admits that she's not got a game plan, which really made
I
me
ain't got a
laugh. But
game plan.
yeah, she does want to win. She's like, I do want to win. And she implies that people might underestimate her. They'll think she's just like the funny girl. I love Tamika, by the way. I'm a big fan of her. She's really funny.
Yeah.
Um, I don't watch EastEnders, but I've seen little clips of her in it, and I talked about this on the preview app. She used to be in a comedy sketch show called Three Non-Blondes on Channel 4 years ago, which I
Oh, I remember
loved.
that.
So she was one of the women that did these hidden pranks in different cities around Britain, and she would play funny characters. So uh, I've always loved Tamika since then. Jonathan is already searching for clues, like it's an escape
Love it.
room. He's like lifting things up. I also predicted this. I thought Jonathan is going to love this game. I think he'll
Yeah.
be because he's a judge on The Masked Singer. He loves Halloween, so I think he loves gameplay and spooky things and mysterious things. So he's really taking it seriously. They discover the portrait wall. I'm just going to say, Lynn, I think we've talked about this before. Most of their portraits look quite nice.
Yep.
Tom Daly's portrait is effed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
What have they done? They've given him like this mad nose, like this
Yeah.
big.
He looks like he's
It's
about 10 as well.
Yeah, like Tom Haley's a very
Because
handsome
he's the
man.
last on the right hand side, isn't he? Ah, he's
Yeah,
the
he's
bottom of
down
the
in
right
the
hand side.
corner.
Yeah.
He's got this crazy portrait. If I was Tom,
Maybe
I
by
wouldn't
the
be
time
happy
they
about
got to
that.
Tom, they were like, oh,
Yeah. Oh,
I'll just
CBA
chuck it
just
now.
stick. Yeah.
We'll put him at the
Uh,
bottom.
yeah, put him in the corner and
Yeah,
hope he won't
nobody will
notice.
notice.
Nico and Kat have a chat, and Nico says he couldn't handle being a traitor, and I think he's just planting seeds. Like, oh, guys, I couldn't be a traitor. I think he so wants to be a traitor, actually. And Kat's saying she doesn't really like lots of attention, even though she's a performer and a singer. Like in real life, she
And
doesn't
she's
like being the center of
neurodivergent. She's
attention.
one of my people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't know that because I don't know that much about her. So I was really interested when she spoke about it later on. Did you know much about Kat before this?
No, but I went on to YouTube and the first thing that came up was like a song called Go, and it's
Yeah.
on the radio all the time. And it's one of the songs that you don't turn over because you're bored of it because you hear it all the time. So I was like,
Maybe
so
she'll sing it in the castle at some point.
maybe.
Stephen and David, who we've not really seen much of yet. We don't really see much of David in the whole episode, I would say. Nick and Tamika are having a chat, and they're recognizing, oh, of course, someone with a shield could become a traitor, so their shield won't matter. We get a wee bit of David here. He talks about the fact that he's a historian, he's an academic, he presents history TV shows, and he says, well, being a historian is all about building arguments, and he's quite good at that. And that might be useful at the round table, but he doesn't think he's going to be good at recognizing other people doing it and catching traitors. So that might not work out well for him if he has to be a faithful and try and catch people.
Hope not.
Some of them chat about Stephen being knighted. I'm going to be honest, I actually didn't realize that Stephen Fry had been knighted and he was Sir Stephen Fry. So I was like, oh, I actually didn't know that. And he tells, this is where you mentioned this earlier. He tells Nico, like, he does know who he is. He's like, I know you do pranks online. I've seen you.
Oh
Nico's
my God.
totally shocked.
Stephen Fry knows
Um,
who I am.
but also he's worried because he's like, man, I thought none of these guys would know who I am, but now they're going to think I'm just this prankster and I'm not going to get away with stuff. So that's not good.
That's how I think they've known who's coming on.
Ah, so maybe Stephen Fry deliberately looked him up. Oh, I didn't
Mhm,
think of that. Okay, okay.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Makes sense. It's time for the traitor selection then. So the players are arriving in slow motion to the round table, and we intercut between these little interviews that they always have with Claudia to talk about what they want to do in the game. So I'm going to run through what they all seem to say in their interviews. Claire says, I think she's implying she wants to be a faithful. She says she's really naive and that she's too trusting, like she's like a Labrador. So she thinks she'll probably be fooled by the traitors really easily. Tom wants everyone to see him as really wholesome and sweet, but actually secretly he'll subvert that and maybe be a
A
good
little devil.
traitor.
Hmm.
Ruth talks about how she will always have receipts if she brings something up with someone at the round table, so she's going to be bringing that evidence. Kat here talks about being neurodivergent, and she says that will help her in the game because she says, "Well, I'm really good at sort of compartmentalizing, seeing things in black and white," in her words. So she thinks that's good because it will make her separate the game from reality. Like she won't get a lot of the time people get so emotionally upset by the game and they
Yeah,
can't separate themselves. But she's like, no, I'm going to be able to be really, really good at that. That could serve me so well as a traitor. Which and I think she is going to do a really good job
I
actually.
think she's gonna be good.
Stephen says this really interesting thing that I think might come back to haunt him. He says nobody can spot a liar just based on gut instinct. Everybody thinks they can spot liars based on body language, and you can't. He says it's only through like actual evidence, like somebody saying the wrong thing and you catch them out.
I think you
And
can
yeah,
spot liars without doing any of that.
I like what do you think might be a giveaway for
We've got body
lying, Lindsay?
language. You've got
Like
body
what
language.
might can you
You've
give me an
got
example of
like
what I might do if I was lying to you right now?
uh, you're covering your face. You're slapping your
I'm
nose with
just
a
doing, I
pen.
don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you saying that if I lie to you in the game that we're playing throughout this podcast episode, you're gonna spot me because of my body language?
I have already spotted something.
Okay. Okay.
Well, two things actually.
So you think I've already told you my lie?
Yep,
Okay.
100%.
We'll see. Uh, we will come back to this body language thing though. It becomes there's a funny moment later. We also, but right after Stephen saying nobody can really spot a liar, we cut straight to Tamika going, "I can spot a liar." She's like, "You can just tell. Someone can say something, so I can lie without saying it." Kate hopes that because she's a journalist, she'll be really good at asking the right questions at the round table, helping the team. Lucy, I think Lucy is kidding in almost every single thing that she says ever. She cracks me up. She's like, I've got everyone sussed. Everyone's sussed already. They think I'm an idiot and I'm not. Uh, and Celia also like Tom. She says, "But everyone thinks I'm nice. This nice lady, but I'm not really." So again, she's so into this game. I think Celia, if Claudia has like a sick day in future, Celia could totally take the place of Claudia.
Lady,
Like
I love her.
I mean, they also have similar names. They both start with a C and they end with an A, and they've got an L and an I. Okay, there's something here.
Conspiracy
Uh,
much?
Conspiracy. It's because it's the mission later, the letters, the anagrams. It's all getting to me. Stephen then says that he'd rather be a faithful, and I'm really surprised at that. I don't know why I'm holding my pen like I'm in like teaching lecture mode. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not because I'm lying, Lindsay. It's not. I'm not doing that. I just have my pen to take notes. Yeah, I thought Stephen Fry would want to be a traitor.
No,
Why? Why are you not
no,
surprised?
no. I can't even say like he's just a treasure. He's just
He
a
is a
good guy.
treasure. I suppose he's so clever that maybe he's like, I will be great at being a faithful
Yeah.
because I'm very observant,
I think he'd be
or
very
so he
limited
thinks.
if he was a traitor.
Okay, why?
Well, Stephen's quite an intelligent man,
Hmm.
right? And he likes to kind of get to know everybody.
Yes.
And I think that's gonna be very positive as a faithful.
Hmm.
But I think as a traitor, no, no, no. I can't even think of Stephen in that light. No, the faithful. No, no. I can't
Well,
even, no, no.
as it turns out, you don't need to worry because he is a faithful. I mean, he may end up getting recruited in the series. We don't know. I'll run through the rest. Nick wants to be a traitor. David and Mark say they'd rather be a faithful. Charlotte wants to be a faithful. She wants to be a great traitor hunter. And then it's just a series of people say they want to be traitors. Comic Joe, Jonathan, Kat, Nico, Paloma, Rugby Joe. Al Alan says, I want to be a traitor, and then just bursts out laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, oh, you know what celebrities are like, they're two-faced. And I'm gonna ask the obvious question that's so obvious, I don't even ask it on the podcast anymore because it's sort of like a season one of the podcast question. But again, there's people watching this and listening for the first time. So, Lindsay, if
Mm.
you were playing the traitors, would you rather be a faithful or a traitor?
I think I think I'm gonna go for traitor this time.
Oh, why?
Yeah. Don't know. I just feel with all the knowledge that I'd be a good traitor
Do you
because
mean
I
because you're now a traitors expert?
no, just with Cat saying like obviously saying you can see things in black and white. I think I'm
Hmm.
kind of like that as well, and I'm quite observant with people, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes.
think I'd be quite good.
Okay, okay. I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And you have fooled me many a time, like on this podcast, with your lies, so
That
you
one
could
time,
get away with it.
that one time that I told a lie and got away with it because I started it 3 days
Uh,
earlier. How did you feel?
that's now banned. I also would like to be a traitor, and again, a recent episode of the pod was all about my experience at the Traitors Live experience in London. So I went and played the game and luckily was chosen as a traitor. And you'll have to go and listen to that podcast episode to find out how I fared in the game. But I totally want to be a traitor. I want to have that control. I want to be in charge. I think you've got a better chance of winning. I don't want to be murdered as a faithful and have no
Yep,
control over
yep.
that. Yeah, I I want to lie to people and get away with it. I don't care. I'll say
I want to be an asshole.
it. So, based, now you can believe me or not here, I could be lying. This is just an opinion though. Based on those little interview clips as we go into the round table, I just in my mind sort of predicted who I thought Claudia would choose, and I wrote it
Right,
down.
right.
So I thought she would choose Kat,
Yep,
Nick, and Celia. Those were my three options. Turns out,
right.
well, I was a third right. Uh, I just thought they were showing us clips of and the clips they showed us. I thought made me think, oh, those people really want it.
hmm
So those were my predictions.
Mine were
Blindfold.
Jonathan,
Okay.
Charlotte, and Kat.
Mm, okay. Okay. Is that just an opinion, or is that your lie as part of the game?
No, that's what I genuinely thought.
Okay. The blindfolds go on then, and Claudia does her circling round. She is very clumpy. I wonder if she's
Oh,
still wearing the
aye.
boots. Clump, clump, clump.
And she circles round about 50 million times as well.
Yes. She does. I love it. And she just stops every now and then right beside someone.
And like stamps her feet.
Uh, but again, they
Oh my
have they
God.
got obviously they have to do it loads to really throw them off, and
Yeah.
they're never gonna know where she really stopped for real and all that. First choice is Jonathan. I was surprised. I didn't expect that. Second choice is Kat. So I got one right. I was excited there. She's buzzing about it. And the third choice ends
Oh
up
my
being
God.
Alan Carr. I love it so much. I was like squealing watching this moment.
Yeah.
So happy they picked him. I've got so many thoughts on this,
Yeah.
but I'll keep it till the end.
Same.
Um, Blindfolds come off. We've got all the usual, like rubbing their eyes. Some of them
They
for
all
real,
kind of
some of
act like,
them
oh my God, it's really bright in there. Oh no. Yeah, quite a lot of them do
they
that.
do. And I can't figure out whether it's like overacting, like Alan's like really going for it, or if it's like maybe they had to do that for like 40 minutes or something, and they
I
genuinely
think
are
they
like, oh
did
my
because she
God.
went round the table that amount of times, like genuinely.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're all sort of looking at one another, analyzing body language and everything. Claudia tells the traitors that she will meet them tonight, and this is the first time in the episode she mentions that there's £100,000 for charity at stake, which I kind of knew. I knew they were playing for charity, but I didn't know it was 100,000. So big prize fund, which is really decent. And she delivers the apparent good news that there'll be no murder tonight, and that sort of makes sense to me, actually. I thought, yeah, I can see why. If it's a celebrity season, they've given all they've brought these celebrities here. They want the audience to watch. They're not going to get rid of somebody in
However,
episode one in case the viewers are like, man, I tuned in to see that person and they're gone already. So
why did they make them dig out shields if they're not going to need they need the shields for that night?
I assume they'll keep them till the next night. They'll just keep them and use
What?
them when there will be a murder. Well, and because
Yeah.
of what ends up happening with the poison, if
Yeah, and the
Alan.
task as well.
Oh yeah, of course, that's right. So they need shields for that, maybe.
Hmm
But yeah, I think that the BBC they want to get their money's worth from these big names, so let's keep them for a couple of episodes all at least. It's kind of like I know you don't watch Drag Race, but the Drag Race All Stars seasons now, where they get big contestants from past seasons to come back, some of them who really become big famous names now, they don't, they're not really doing eliminations anymore. They're doing just sort of like tournaments and point systems, so they're keeping the whole cast in throughout the series.
Right.
Because I think it would be quite hard to convince, so that the viewers see their faves in it for quite a few episodes,
Yeah.
but also so that you can say to the celebrities, look, we're not gonna have you in one episode then kick you out. You'll at least get a couple of episodes out of this. Um, Although I think these celebrities probably wouldn't. They were probably quite happy to just come and play the game and be excited.
Yeah.
There's lots of chat around the table, and Tamika talks about Claudia walking around lots of times. And Ruth makes this joke. She says, when they were wheeling me down to get my leg chopped off, it was
I
less dense
know.
than that.
I was like, oh, that must be a film she's talking about. And then I noticed she's
No,
got a
no.
prosthetic.
Laughed so much. And I'm glad that she made that joke and not somebody else.
It's a
We
gothic
we've got
humor.
a wee moment of Claire talking to Charlotte, and she goes, "Someone's overdoing the reaction," and the camera cuts to Kate Garraway.
Yep.
So I think that's presumably who Claire was referring to,
Yeah.
and maybe this is going to come up later. I just love like the traitors have just been chosen, and a lot of people have been saying to me like, "Oh, the celebrities won't really play it that seriously, will it? Like they'll all just be nice to each other." No, no,
Nope.
Claire's on the case. Claire's like, look over there.
Mm.
They have a toast and drink, and Paloma like fakes being poisoned. And I'm gonna be brutally honest and
I love
say,
Paloma, don't.
okay, okay, I'll just move on then. I laughed
Yep.
at Paloma here. Uh, she annoys me. Alan, sorry.
I can see that though, but I like her.
Okay. We've got Alan in his wee interview saying he's got this sweating problem and he's worried that he's going to be sweating all the time and that he can't keep a secret.
It's also
And
the
I'm like,
fact that they're piling the drink on with him as well. So he's going to be
oh,
drunk. He's a
I'm
traitor.
like,
He's going to be
too late,
sweating.
Alan. You
Love
should
it.
have told them that you absolutely didn't want to do it. So I can't wait to see how this all plays out. Off we go from the round table room. Everyone's having drinks in the bar. Alan just can't stop giggling because he's so nervous.
Yep.
Paloma and him reckon that Celia and Claire, or they call them Rosemary and Thyme, they're looking a bit shady over there. And Alan's like, they've got traitors written all over them.
Yeah.
Nico and Ruth are looking at the portraits. And Nico's got this theory, well, there's probably going to be a younger person in the mix, which is kind of true. We've got Kat in there. And so Nico and Ruth form a little alliance. They've got a little something going here, a partnership. Ruth here says she's not really known for her people skills, which made me laugh so much. Again, I just didn't know who she was before this, but I'm really enjoying her. We've got some people in the library. Jonathan's obviously in traitor mode now. He's faking it. He's saying, "Oh man, I'm so disappointed I didn't get picked. Oh, I feel so powerless." I, I'm sort of torn between whether I think Jonathan's going to be good at this or not.
I
Like, I
think
think
he
he'll take
will.
the game seriously. I wonder if he says they're going to have to be really adaptable and nimble, and
I
I
think
just
he
wonder
will.
if why do you think Jonathan's going to be good at this?
Well, Jonathan is a fan of the show, right?
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. He's a very dedicated man and he's a very strategic thinker.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were going to say this, but when they leave to go for the night,
Mm.
he says to Alan, "You're a traitor. I'll see you up there." And then like, so, 'cause I was like, "How the hell does he think know that already?" I think Jonathan's going to be really good. And then at the task, he's also holding back to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what's going on. So he's very strategic. So I
That
think
that
he'll be
was
good.
very clever in the task, actually.
Yeah,
I just wonder if maybe not. Maybe you're right. Maybe the task disproved this because Jonathan is so used. Well, you could say this about all of them. He's a big name. He's used to being a talk show host. He was did stand up comedy. I wonder if he just like
charismatic.
won't be able to help himself. Yeah, like being charismatic and a bit of a leader and speaking too much, and maybe
No,
he'll
I think
stick
he'll be
out.
too good. I think he'll be good.
Okay, okay. I mean, I
I
want
think
him
if
to be
anybody
good.
we've got to worry about is Alan. Eh, when Claudia picked him, I was like, "Oh God, am I happy about this?" Like, what? Oh,
I've got lots of thoughts on Alan, but
yeah.
I think my main thought is actually that we shouldn't underestimate him. I'm gonna
I
say
think
it. I'm gonna say it.
yeah, I think, yeah. I was noticing
So,
like he was
yeah.
stopping drinking the alcohol as well towards the end because I think he kind of maybe
Yeah.
thought, oh God, I'm gonna let my
Had
tongue slip here.
got his wee cup of tea,
Aye,
uh,
we drink of water.
his wee drink. In another room, Kate's doing this like truth experiment. She's asking people questions to see how they respond, and then goes, "Are you a traitor?" And Kat's like, "Do me next." Uh, Comedy Joe tells his group in the library thinks there could be a traitor among them, and again, Alan's just sitting there like, like it's just sweat dripping down him.
Yeah.
And this is well, like the highlight of the episode, I think. And we get an interview clip of Alan
Oh
saying,
no, oh.
"I'm worse than Linda.
Yeah, I knew
I'm
you were gonna
worse
say
than."
that. It's like Linda, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and Linda, by the way, has responded to this already on Instagram. If you have not watched season 3 of The Traitors, listeners, then Linda was a
Loves Linda.
contestant, an icon forever. She's doing little recaps of her own on
Love
Insta
it.
after every episode. She did a little video today saying, "Alan, you're not worse than me." Like she was making a joke about it. She was like, "No one's worse than me." Um, as midnight chimes, then Jonathan does this thing. Yeah, he makes a wee joke about going up to the turret, and he's like, "Hey, see you up there, Alan," which is so perfect because little do they know they actually will see each other up there. It's time for the traitors' turret. The traitors meet Claudia. They take their oath. She says, "Go forth and murder, enjoy being evil," and they arrive one by one to wait to find out who their fellow traitors will be.
Do you know, I always imagined the room to be like in the corner of a castle in like a circular room
Mm.
enclosed, but they're actually outside.
I think I don't think they're outside, but I think they're in. I don't think it's a real turret. I think it's kind of like a little not a studio. I think they've just dressed up a room to look. I think it's all fake. I think it's indoors, but it's fake. I don't think it's a real circular room. Jonathan and Kat arrive first. They both look very surprised to see each other. He says he did
But
not
buzzing.
suspect her for a minute. And likewise, she's really glad that he's there. She thinks he's going to be, like you said, very strategic. Alan is on his way. This shot of Alan with his hood up, walking
Love it.
around with his little lantern, has gone like viral already. As so many people have sent me memes of this. Someone was like, "Hang it in the Louvre," um, and so one of them was like, "Alan, I'm not going to be funny in this game. I'm going to take it really seriously." Cut to Alan with his little
Love it.
lantern.
Love it.
He arrives, hood down, lifts it up, and they all just burst out laughing. This is just so. It's just brilliant. It's just
See,
brilliant
when it was
TV.
Jonathan and Kat, the two of them are like really serious and they're like, we're gonna be really good. Da, 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 da. And then the minute Alan comes in, like Kat just like buckles over laughing,
Yeah.
and Jonathan's just like, oh shit, oh shit,
Yeah.
we're gonna love it.
But then, even though they laugh, Jonathan says, "Alan, you're the trump card." And he
Yeah,
thinks, like, actually, everyone thinks that you're just a mad comedian, but
yep,
you could do really well for us here. And I agree. I think you will.
yep.
Claudia arrives. They all say they're really happy. This is a great team. And she tells them they'll murder tomorrow night, but that their first murder will be planned tonight in plain sight, and that, or tomorrow night, sorry, but it will be revealed tomorrow how exactly they'll go about this. And Jonathan's rallying them together, and then they have a chat about breakfast. And says, "Good night, sweet traitors." They're ready to go. Alan says he'll be the sweet face, and the other two can do all of the horrible deeds behind everybody's back. And we finish with Kat telling us that this is her trick in life. She says, "I let people underestimate me and I prove them wrong and I make them think they're in control when maybe they're not really." And I think, is she already plotting a little bit that she's gonna not trust her traitors all the way? Is she like planting a little seed here?
Yeah, maybe, maybe. I don't think she will though. I don't think this is gonna be a season where the traitors vote the traitors. Like I think
Okay,
the three of them will work quite well together.
we'll see.
We'll see. We shall see.
We'll see. It's time for. Do you know what? It's suddenly the sun rises and it's the next day. I thought the episode was over. I was like,
Such a
oh,
long episode.
all my notes done. And then it just kept going. I'm not complaining. I just had when I'm taking these notes and I'm watching the program really fastidiously, I've got no concept of time. So I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, there's still like half an hour left. And yeah, it was like an hour and 50-minute special
yeah.
episode to kick the season off. We're in the Jeeps. We've got Kate, Alan, Nick, Rugby Joe. Kate's even saying
Rugby
to
Joe.
Alan, yeah, I trust you. You're definitely a faithful. I can see it. And Stephen Fry, this is the thing I said I was going to come back to. He's talking and he says, Tom Daly and Nico are worth looking at. And I just thought that was so funny
Just so
that he
random.
went
It's so
from
random.
saying you can't tell people who are lying based on gut instinct, and now he's like, I've got a feeling about Tom Daly, like based on who knows what. And he says that when they took off their blindfolds, they were looking around too quickly, which is just so funny that
Yeah.
he's picking up on their body language, even though he said you can't use that at all. So that's just great to
Remember I
see.
said it's body language?
I know. But the thing is, he's wrong.
Well,
He's got it totally wrong.
yeah.
Um, and there's a moment of David saying, "Nah, Tom." Well, David says, "Yeah, he's making a joke." I think he's like, "Tom's the baby-faced assassin," and of course, Kat is in this car. Just she's eating this up. She's like, "This is
Yeah.
great for me." Nico talks to Celia and Mark, and he says, "You two are world-class actors. Have you picked up on anyone's behavior changing?" And Mark talks about Tamika. He says, "Oh, he thinks she's become a bit jittery and unsure. He thinks she's behaving differently." And soon they approach a giant Trojan horse. And Alan's going, Claire, it's a horse. You're going to love this. And I wondered, are there extra players inside? Like a real Trojan horse. I thought like two more celebrities were going to burst out, like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Um,
Here.
I wondered if that could be a little twist. And Claudia says, she talks to the players and just kind of getting them ready for the game and says, what do you want to do with the traitors? And Stephen goes, burn them. And
It cuts
Claudia's
to
like, you've
Alan
got
like,
it. So they have to move the horse to a giant fire pit pure miles away. And
up a
they've
hill
got
and all.
up a hill.
Mm.
They've got four locked gates to get through along the way that are opened with a question or a puzzle. There's £15,000 up for grabs if they can do it in 30 minutes. And Claudia reminds us about the shield winners. And it's only here that I thought, oh, wait, Jonathan had one of the shields. Okay, so this might be quite good. He can pretend he's a faithful and he's relieved about not getting murdered and stuff like that. Claire takes charge straight away. She's like, right, guys. Uh,
Claire and Tom,
Tom, Tom's like, right,
babyface
he's
killer.
giving them like the physical advice. I just thought it was so funny again, like the sporty people. They're like the PE teachers, which is fine by me. Like if I was there, I'd be like,
Yeah, I
you
would
just
be as well.
tell me what to do.
I
It's
think
fine.
Tom gave them good advice though, like
Yeah, yeah,
because there's a lot of older
hmm
people, even though that like Stephen Fry talks about going to the gym and doing
yeah,
like, but still there's like 70-year-olds in there,
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
good.
Celia is like 74, I think she said.
Hmm.
So yeah, Tom's looking out for everybody. He doesn't want
Yeah,
any injuries. Maybe they did a wee bit of a warm up or something. So
they were
Kat,
warming up. Did you not see them
yeah,
warming up?
Kat realizes this is good. This is she's like, well, if they want to take charge
Hmm.
and get attention, I'm fine with that. I'll talk us through some of the highlights of the mission. I love Celia's got a little pink cap with a C on it for Celia.
Oh, I love it
Excellent.
as well. I noticed that. It's a white cat
Uh,
though.
oh, sorry, what? I couldn't tell if it was really pale pink or white. That's not my lie. I just thought it was pink. Okay, it's just an opinion. That doesn't count. We've got Lucy Beaumont sometimes just screaming. You just hear Lucy like, ah! And Charlotte, every time there's instructions, she's like, question one! Like, just like
She
yelling
was
it to
into it,
them.
by the way. She was so into that. Like,
Very,
good team
yeah,
player.
yes. Now there's a bit of a twist. The players only get one chance to put in their answer for each gate, but if they still want to proceed, they might have to sacrifice a shield to get ahead. Question one is about Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet, how many characters die in that and Hamlet combined? I'm guessing a lot. I don't know the answer off by heart. Hamlet, but almost everyone dies by the end. Spoiler. So Stephen Fry's like, I'll take care of this one. And
Well,
Nick's contributing as well. They're going through they're like, Mercutio, Tybalt, Paris. And whilst they're counting, Claire just jacks it all up by experimenting with the lever. puts in a number, pulls the lock, and it's
I'd
stuck.
be pure raging at her if I was there.
It's so good. I
Like, what are
laughed
you
so
doing?
much. And she's like, oh God. And Tom immediately is like, is she a traitor? And
That's
she's
something a
sabotaging
traitor
this.
would do. Hmm.
And I I'm was particularly annoyed here because at work we are doing a sweepstake. We all had to pick a name on one of the celebrity cast out of a hat, and that's your trait. If that traitor wins, you win the game. I picked out Claire Baldwin. And so at this moment I was
Good
like,
luck.
right, thanks Claire, you've screwed yourself over. So God, Claire, I was really annoyed that she has ruined my chance in the game. Charlotte sacrifices her shield to go ahead, and she
Claire.
says it was a no-brainer. I'm not worried about the shield. Now, normally, if this was a regular version of the traitors, I'd be like, she's an idiot. Why did she do that? Now she might
Hmm.
get murdered. But I'm sort of like going to cut them some slack because they're playing for charity.
Hmm.
Maybe Charlotte's like, look, if I get eliminated, doesn't matter. We've got £15,000 for charity here. I'll just do the good. So maybe I'm like, okay, Charlotte, she's going to be nice and she doesn't really care if she gets kicked out of the game. So I'm going to let her
She
away with
also
that.
done it quite quickly as well.
Yeah, she was just like, no
Like,
time for this. Let's just do it.
she was into that task.
Yes. And Jonathan realizes, oh, that could make Charlotte look suspicious, as if she's a traitor. She's not worried about getting murdered. And this is where what you mentioned comes into play. He's pretending he's
Stroking
even more
joke.
tired than he is. He's just lingering at the back, and he doesn't want to have to volunteer his shield because he wants to keep it looking like he's a faithful and he really needs it.
Did you notice what he was wearing?
I didn't know what was he wearing.
Have you ever seen Top Gun?
No, I know it's shameful. I've not seen Top Gun.
So he was wearing like a kind of one of the pilot
Oh
like boiler
yeah,
suit
yeah.
things.
Oh,
Is
okay,
it?
I do remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I just thought only Jonathan Ross would wear this.
yeah.
Gate two was to a sort of sliding puzzle, and they're in the middle of doing it when Charlotte, I guess she's just like, anyone else want to give it the shield? Shield, shield. But
Straight away, yeah. He
Nick
was just like
powers through it.
done.
He
Yeah.
was very impressive. I
Hmm.
don't even know what he was doing. Like I don't know how they had
He
to
done it
solve
that
it,
quick.
but he was just like done. Very impressive, Nick. And the next stage of the mission is just really physically demanding. They're all struggling. Alan says that he just wedged his pole in between two rolls of fat.
I'd
I-
be doing that as well.
Gate 3 is a word puzzle. They have to find four words out of maybe 16 or so that are laid out on the ground that have a unique and obvious connection. And Nick and Alan both figure out really cleverly, oh, there's
Yep.
four words that contain letters that aren't in the word traitor. That's so smart, really impressive again. I would like to think that I would have been good at that puzzle, but I did not spot it as quick
Was
as
it
they
not
did.
Nick and Stephen?
I, Alan definitely jumped in and helped. Stephen
Right,
might have
okay.
as well. Nick sort of got the ball rolling, but
Yeah,
Alan did a really decent job there.
yeah.
The final stretch is this huge hill. It's a really bad incline. Mark's like screaming encouragement at He's like, "Come on, guys!" They make it up there, and gate four is to solve the puzzle, or if they can't, sacrifice two shields. And it's an observation task. They have to match symbol tiles to symbols that they've seen on the previous gates. Tom can remember most of them, but he forgets one. He runs back to check. We don't know if they've got time. They form a chain to
There's like
shout the
7
message
minutes
along.
left. Like 7 minutes left, and he's like, I'm just gonna run down and get it all. Didn't even ask him. They just like started pelting down, and then halfway down, like, should I be doing this?
I mean, I can't judge how far the distance was, but I'm like, I guess he's just like, there's no time to even discuss this. If someone's going to do it, I need to do it. And
Yeah,
he is very fit,
yeah.
so I guess he's the one. They manage to make it work. They reach the end with a minute left, and they choose Olympian Tom to light the torch that sets the horse alight. Hooray! And
And at that point,
I
you're like,
mean,
no celebrities are gonna come out this horse right now.
exactly. I was like, well, I hope there wasn't an extra
We
player in
just killed
there.
somebody.
Like, oh my God, Jennifer Saunders was in there. Um, I'm saying Jennifer Saunders because, as we discussed in the preview episode, she was cast in the show, but apparently dropped out the day before filming, and so some people thought that was a cover up, and she was going to be in the show, but no, well. Unless she's appearing in episode 2, she's really not in the show.
Mhm.
Claudia congratulates them and sends them back off to the castle to celebrate. We get a wee bit in the jeeps on the way back again. Paloma's congratulating Charlotte on sacrificing her shield, and she says it'll be harder for the traitors to kill someone now. I think she means because we've all bonded, we worked as a team so well. They're going to have to make a really tough decision. Um, I A wouldn't put me off. I'd still kill someone happily, and I also think these traitors, like Jonathan and Kat, they're not going to have a problem killing anyone.
No.
Alan might feel a bit guilty about it, but they won't care.
Yeah.
Some other players like Mark and Celia are talking about Charlotte giving up the shield too easily. Ruth is a bit suspicious of Kate not giving up her shield. And
But there was others that had shields that didn't give it up.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And the others talk a wee bit about Nico and his background of playing pranks. And so they're again, they're looking around, they're trying to find
Yeah.
reasons to pinpoint people. It's dinner time at the castle. Stephen's priority is to head straight to the library to find the complete works of
The book.
Shakespeare. He's like, I want to know what the
He wants
answer
the
is.
answers, yeah. Nice.
I thought Stephen Fry would know this off by heart, but even Stephen has to go and have a look in the book. And Tom picks up on something that I thought was very clever. He says, if there's no murder tonight, why did the traitors meet last night? He's like, they wouldn't have met just to say hi to each other. He's like, there must have been a reason for them to meet.
See Alan's face. He's just
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But Tom then goes down like the wrong route. He's like, maybe they were given a sabotage mission. Maybe they had to
yeah.
force us to get rid of the shields. Um, and Alan jumps on that. He's like, Claire Baldwin. And even Joe, he's like, Tom, you could be a traitor for coming up with that theory.
Yep.
So like, I know everyone's laughing at Alan, but I honestly don't think he's doing a bad job. I'm not kidding. So it's time for us to find out how are the traitors going to do this murder in plain sight? What's it going to involve? This is the part of the traitors that
Mm.
I live for. I just talked about this recently on Traitors Ireland. We did a whole season on the podcast of it. By the way, listeners, Traitors Ireland was a fantastic season and it is coming to BBC iPlayer after Celebrity Traitors. The BBC have said they're going to show it in November, so you'll be able to watch that season. Can't recommend it enough. And there's a whole season of this podcast. Lindsay came on with me and we talked about what
The
it
luck
was a
of the
great
Irish.
cast. Yeah, it was a great one.
Was.
The traitors then receive their secret letters, and they have to find the poison bite lily, rub their hands with the pollen, and touch the face of the faithful they want to murder. And that player will then die slowly, and it has to be done before the night's over. Obsessed, love it, love when they have to do these things and sneak around. It's
Yeah.
just so exciting. Alan realizes he's seen the flower in the bar, so he heads right there, only to realize there's like five people all sitting there having a drink.
Yeah.
Kat arrives in the bar, and Alan tries to talk to her so loudly and conspicuously, and she's like, "Shut
It's not
up!" And he's
loud.
just
It's not
like,
loud.
"So how are we going to do this? Who are we going to kill?" In the kitchen, Jonathan talks to Rugby Joe, and I think that he slips up a little bit here because they're having a chat, and Rugby Joe says something about, well, at least we've got the shield. And Jonathan's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we've got the shield. And I just wonder if Rugby Joe will notice that and be like, how did you forget you had the shield? Like, are you not worried about being murdered? So I think that might come back. Maybe it won't.
To bite my
Maybe,
ass.
maybe Rugby Joe is,
I thought it was
but
quite strange as well that the two of them were chatting, and then when Alan and Kat came in, Rugby Joe just kind of got and left.
yeah, yeah.
It was
I
as
mean,
if they were like, right, can you leave the room because we've got to chat?
maybe, yeah. Maybe yeah, I guess it was odd. I wonder if they
Yeah.
said, oh, Joe, somebody's asking for you, or maybe they were there for a while and
Mm.
eventually left and they just like cut some stuff out. I don't know, but yeah, I wonder why he did that. When when it's the three of them there, Jonathan tells us the audience, it's really tough to get a moment alone. There's so many people around, and normally in the traitors, this kind of task happens a bit later on in the series when there are fewer people around. So they've got like 18 other people, well, 16 other people apart from the traitors to avoid. They finally get their time alone. They decide Alan should be the one to touch somebody's face.
Best
And
best person.
I think so too. I think
Aye.
he'll be able to get away with it.
Yep.
But he's still talking so loudly. And I think Kat's kind of trying to keep watch by the door. And Jonathan decides he'll go to the bar and say he's going to go outside for some fresh air to get everybody out. But he does
Which is
take
good.
yeah, he seems to sort of do it in a not suspicious way, gets the lid off the jar off the flower. Alan's having a meltdown. He eventually makes it to the lily. He's got his cup of tea. It's very me. I am usually not without my cup of tea. I do have tea in here. If you choose to believe that, Lindsay, could be my
Will it be
lie.
cold by now?
It's lukewarm, but that doesn't bother me too much. People at work think that's weird when I drink like
Yeah, that's
kind of
weird.
cold tea, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Cool.
Uh, so he's got his cup of tea, and we see close-ups of some of the women's portraits, and he says his plan is to tell a woman she's got something on her face, and that's how he'll
Yep.
get away with it. And I don't know if he means it, but there's a wee moment in his interview where he goes, how the hell am I going to do this? And it is
Yeah.
so Linda. Remember Linda going, who the hell is not going to come back? So
Yeah.
he's like channeling Linda. He manages to rub the flower. He scarpers away. He says, what am I going to do? And the episode ends here. It is. Let's predict, Lindsay, what we think is going to happen then in episode two. Who Remember that the two Joes, Kate and Celia, have shields. So let's assume Alan's going to remember that and not target them. You got any predictions about whose face he's going to touch? Who's he going to murder?
I'm a bit annoyed that he's just going to go straight for a female.
Oh,
Like,
do you think it's
that's,
sexist?
I don't think it's sexist. I think it's, if I was in his position, I'd do the same, right? Because it's easy to just
Hmm.
be like, oh, you've got a little bit of mascara on your cheek or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But I think outside the box, man. But I think he is the best person to do it
Hmm.
because he's quite like, "Hmm,"
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, so I don't think they would get suspicious of him doing anything like that. But as for, I don't know.
I've got a prediction, and you can tell
Maybe
me whether
Tamika,
you. Oh, okay. Tamika. Okay. I
maybe,
hope not. I'm a fan. I
or
predict
Charlotte.
Paloma. Charlotte.
No, I don't think he'll do Paloma because him
Oh.
and Paloma are really pally.
I suggested this to somebody else today, and they said the exact same thing.
Yeah,
The reason I think it might be Paloma is, well, I'm basing it on the fact that she's also quite like him. She gesticulates a lot. She's quite manic,
yeah,
and I think she's probably quite tactile and touchy-feely as well. And because they're pals, she won't think anything of him going, "Oh, you've got," like you said, like, "Oh, you've got something on your face or something."
yeah.
So I just wonder if he'll just naturally go to her, even though he's her pal, and
I
just be
don't
like,
think he will.
I just need to do this, and go, oh, what's that on your face? That's my prediction that he'll think he can get away with that the best. And if he was really being strategic, other people might go, well, oh God, that's Alan's pal, so I don't think he's a traitor. He wouldn't have done that to Paloma.
Yeah, I suppose.
But you're saying Tamika,
Or
uh,
Charlotte.
or Charlotte, and of course Charlotte doesn't have her shield anymore. Wouldn't that be awful?
But I think it's also, it would be in the traitor's favour because she's given up her shield.
Yeah.
She can kind of get flung under the bus.
Yeah. And the other
Whereas,
players will be like, "Oh my God, if she hadn't
yeah,
done that, maybe
she
that was the
can,
traitor's mission was to
yeah.
make her give up her shield, and that would be the person that got murdered or something like that."
I think Tamika might be the easy option.
Okay. What about looking ahead to the first banishment? We're going to have a banishment in episode two. Who do you think is going to be banished first?
Clear.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Sorry, you've lost your sweepstake in your work.
Great. Why do you think, Claire? Because of our mess up in the mission?
Okay, yeah. Although I don't understand why they think that the traitors would sabotage.
They're just
Because,
guessing that the traitors were Claudia gave them a sabotage ta secret
but
task or
they've never
something.
done it
That's
because it
me.
would, but that would be to sabotage how much money would be in the
Yeah, yeah.
prize pot. So I don't know where they're getting, but Claire with that task.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think yeah, she's in trouble. I think it'll be either Claire or Kate. And I'm gonna go if you're going with Claire, I'll go with Kate. I think,
Yeah,
a
Kate's not
couple of
helping
people
herself either.
mentioned Kate. They, Claire and whoever she was talking to at round table immediately thought she was acting a bit too much. Someone, was it Ruth mentioned that Kate hadn't volunteered to give up her shield and they thought that was strange.
Yeah.
I think Claire might get away with her mistake. Oh, bye. So if you're listening to the pod, you've got no idea. If you're watching on YouTube, I just smacked the desk.
Smack, smack.
I think Claire might get thank you, Akon. I think Claire might get away with her mistake by just like constantly apologize and then going,
Nah.
if I was a traitor, I would never do something that obvious. Come on, guys. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, I suppose.
I don't know, because
And sh
Tom's gone on about it quite a lot, and I think Tom's quite
uh, that's
influential in
true.
there.
Yeah. I'll go with Kate. It may be Claire. What about overall impressions of this first episode? Did you think it was a good one, Lindsay?
I think it was a good one. It made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, yeah. I think Alan was the star of the episode for me, which I'm not surprised at. I love Alan
Yeah,
Carr.
same, same.
I think he's going to be
I
the star of the
think
season.
that Charlotte Church is a magical fairy because she can go on with a white dress and come out with a white dress. But yeah, Alan's my favourite. Although I quite like Cat as well.
Yeah, I do like Kat. Again, I didn't know who she was before this, but
Same.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how she gets on here. I think she's going to be good at it. There are still a couple of people that didn't get much screen time. It's difficult when there's 19 of them. Like
Yeah.
David, we barely saw. Lucy, I don't think we saw that much of. Yeah, probably a couple of others weren't given lots of time. I love that they're really into the game mostly. Like they're taking it seriously. And I think these three traitors are really going to try and make it work. I think they're going to do their best. Uh, who I, I'll come back to another prediction. I'm going to ask you to predict one more thing at the end of the
Right.
ep. We've got some listener questions, Lindsay. Now,
Okay.
I was anticipating no listener questions because it's episode one, but I underestimated our wonderful listeners. So we've got a few here. This is from Shan on Spotify who says, hey Matthew, love the podcast. Can't wait for the traitors. My traitor predictions are, so obviously she sent this before the episode, Tamika, Jonathan, and Joe Wilkinson. Which is similar to the comment from Sarah on YouTube. Sarah said, who were your predictions for the traitors? Were they who you suspected or not? Who would you have selected instead? So we talked a little bit about this, who we
hmm
thought it would be, but I like Sarah's question, who might we have chosen instead? Is there anyone else in the cast you think would have made a good traitor that you kind of would like to see in there?
Celia might be good.
Yeah. I guess
Uh,
she's older lady. People might, again, she said it herself, people think she's really sort of sweet and lovely.
Maybe
She's a good
Nico as well.
actress.
Yeah, Nico as well. I
Yeah.
would never have chose Alan Carr. Like never. When he got chose, I was just like, oh God. He's
Yeah.
just like the minute he has a drink on him, he's just gonna be like verbal diarrhea. Uh, but I think he might be quite good.
So do
So
I.
Celia,
Yeah.
Nico,
Celia, Nico, I agree with that. I think uh Tom Daly, because he's competitive, he's into the game. I think he would have played really well, and again, people think he's like really sort of sweet and baby-faced. Maybe Paloma actually, because she just sort of comes across as a bit mad. People might
yeah,
just think, oh, she's just really eccentric and
I
she's
think
just quite
she's like Alan. I
funny.
don't think she'd make a good traitor either.
Well, here's my thought now.
Okay.
I said I was going to talk more about Alan at the end. Since this cast has been announced and people have been gearing up for the Celebrity Traitors, the most common thing people have said to me about the show is, "Oh my God, Alan Carr's in the cast. Can you imagine him as a traitor? That's hilarious. That's so ridiculous. Oh, like what a mad thought." So people have just totally written off Alan Carr, like,
Yeah.
but actually, I think because everybody thinks that this cast are also going to think there's no way they're going to make Alan a traitor. I actually think that's going
Yeah.
to do him a favor. I think no, they are not going to suspect him. They're going to think the producers haven't chose Alan as one of the traitors,
Yeah.
and he's. I'm I'm gonna I'm gonna predict right now. I think Alan's going to win the whole thing. I'm putting it out
Really?
now. Yeah, I think everyone is going to totally underestimate him. He's gonna fool us all and get away with it. Because I know he acts nervous and he sweats, but I think the other players will just think that is him being awkward and nervous and silly. I really think he could pull it off. I said I would ask you this at the end of that, but I'll ask you now. Lindsay, use your psychic gift. You've done it before. You have predicted an actual winner before at the very start of the season.
I've done it twice.
There you go. Who is winning Celebrity Traitors?
Uh, well, I think you raise valid points about Alan,
Obvs.
so I'm gonna throw him into the mix. I think maybe I don't know Jonathan
Hmm.
or Alan,
Okay, Jonathan Allen.
but
So
I
you
feel
think a
like I'm
traitor? You
I
think a
feel
traitor
like
will win?
yeah, I
Okay,
feel like I'm like letting
going with the
Stephen Fry
obvious.
down though. What?
Your personal friend Stephen Fry.
Sorry, Stephen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I'm gonna go with Alan, and I'm
okay.
gonna
We'll
go
see.
Alan or Jonathan.
Okay. We have another couple of
Now I feel like I'm
questions.
like
Oh,
being traitorous to Cat.
look, if you want to come back at the end and change your mind, you've got thinking time, right? There's no pressure. This is from Declan, who
The
sent in
traitors
an
are gonna
email.
win. Right.
Okay.
Hi, Declan.
Declan says, do the players pick a charity and a couple of backup charities in case two or more players pick the same charity? And, well, first of all, yep, that makes sense. They'll tell the producers in advance, here's my charity, and they'll say, oh, someone else has picked that. What's your other choice? Yep, that makes sense. And Declan asks, will there be a banquet or a special dinner where the players tell each other what charities they're playing for? Yeah, I could totally. It's because they've no one's mentioned it so far.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see that. Maybe yet more. I think more towards the end of the series, we'll probably get in one of the last episode, the second last episode leading up to the finale, we'll get them say, and I'm playing
Yeah.
for, and maybe it will be round a dinner table with the final six players or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
I
So
can
I
see
can
that.
see that. We said that at the exact same time. We both
We
went, I
said
can see
we
that.
said two things at the same time.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Turn
So,
ahead.
we've finally got a voice note from Angus. Angus is a regular listener, and
Oh,
so as well, listeners, I'll tell you how you
fantastic
can do
name.
this. Fantastic name.
Hmm.
And Angus, from his accent, is not Scottish, so it's such a Scottish name. Fits the
It
show
is.
so well.
Yep.
Uh, Listeners, I'll tell you in a little while how you can send in a voice note just like Angus has done. Let's listen to it.
Hello, Matthew. This is Zypker. I'm a frequent commenter and longtime listener of the podcast, and I decided to send in a voice note so that you can attach a voice to a name, maybe. Okay, so the question I had for Celebrity Traitors UK is I think there's a lot of celebrities on this cast that people would want to see as traders. So this is a twist I've been thinking about for a while, and I think it would really work well here. Traders, when they go down to two, they have the option to recruit to go up to three. But what if instead they were forced to go up to three anytime they went down to two? So yeah, they would be forced to recruit. This way, you make sure that more people get recruited as traders, and this way you can see more people as traders, which I think would be more fun. Having more traders in the turret means more personalities. You get to see more people play as traders, and it also re- will more likely result in some of the traders failing, or some of the traders getting into trouble and causing drama and conflict. I think this twist could probably only work for the first half of the game. Having three traders at the very end would be too overpowered. But I do think it's something that production across all countries should try and consider.
Thank you, Angus, for that thought. So Angus is suggesting that every time a traitor is banished, another one is immediately recruited. The traitors left behind don't have any choice about that. So he thinks it'd be good to see more celebrities
Hmm.
or players be traitors across the series. Angus, I'm going to be very controversial here and disagree with you. I've got a couple of reasons why. Lindsay, what do you think of that suggestion? Do you want more traitors throughout the series?
I think it's quite good. I think that he's also said it will bring different personalities out.
Yeah,
So I think,
yeah,
yeah, I think that'd be quite good. Be interesting.
yeah. Different dynamics in the turrets, different traitors interacting with each other. I can see
Different
the appeal
gameplays and
of
stuff,
that.
yeah. Hmm.
I don't want to see that for a couple of reasons. I I think it might like dilute the magic of being a traitor. I think what's special about the show is it's very few people are chosen as traitors, and that's what makes it so exciting. Like, who are we going to see get picked? Oh man, we're not going to see our faves become traitors. I think it's really special when someone is chosen as a traitor. Like the fact that Alan
Yeah,
Carr has been picked, and everyone's going, "Oh my God, they picked Alan as a traitor." We're saying that because there there are so few traitors, so we sort of can't believe it's him. If we thought, well, half the cast are going to become traitors at some point, we sort of probably wouldn't be as surprised. But like, all right, it was kind of inevitable. He was probably going to become a traitor at some point. So I think it's more exciting to know only a few of these players are going to become traitors at any point in this game. It's quite rare, and I actually think it's better when most of the banishments do go wrong and they just keep getting faithfuls. I think it's better when banishing a traitor is rare. That makes it more
mhm.
exciting. If there's constant traitor recruitments, it just means that the faithful are more likely to keep catching traitors throughout the series. So it's not quite as exciting as if they keep getting traitors out. So actually, I don't want to see more traitors get caught.
Yeah, but like he's meaning like only just for the first half of the season.
He did say for the
It's
first
not
half. That's true.
throughout. So I can see both sides. I can see both sides.
Okay,
Hi,
okay.
Switzerland.
Interesting thought though. Now, listeners and Lindsay, remember that we have been playing the Trade Traitor this whole time. We might even still be playing it right now. Before we conduct our own banishment and
Are
reveal
you
what we've
Angus?
been dishonest about, Lindsay, tell us where we can find you online. How can we follow you and find out what you're up to?
Just Instagram really. Like
Okay.
putting me pictures of Scottish things and my doggies. And it's at Chisarella. And I will follow you back
And
if you
what
post
kind
good
of
stuff.
dogs do you have?
I have a Doberman and two Whippets.
Yes, there we go.
It's actually
Lots
my
of
Doberman's ninth birthday today.
oh,
But
the
because I've been
ninth, nine on the
unwell,
ninth.
I've not baked her a cake. I normally bake my wee doggy cake. But because I've not been
Bless.
well, I'm not done it.
Poor Rooks. Well, tell her happy birthday from me because
Oh,
I know that she misses me.
my poor
Uh,
horse.
and to make sure you're up to date with the podcast and Traitors news and updates and sometimes a little video from me, you should follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Trader Podcast. And Instagram have now changed the rules, meaning that you can't go live without having at least 1,000 followers. So I'm endeavoring to reach that goal. We're currently at 767 as of the 9th of October. So it'd be great to try and reach 1,000 at some point. You can so
1,000.
tell your friends, get everybody you know to sign up to the Trader podcast on Instagram. And you can also send me questions and thoughts on those platforms. DM me, put it in the comments. You can email me as well, like Declan did today, at thetradarpodcast@gmail.com. Or you could do what Angus did and leave a voice note, and we can hear you on the podcast. And that's really
Woo!
easy to do. All you need to do is visit memo.fm/the Trader Podcast. And there's a
The
big button that
traitor.
says record a message for the podcast. Super easy. There is a 2 minute limit I discovered today. So you can't talk for too long. It's also really helpful to subscribe wherever you're listening, leave a lovely review, give us 5 stars, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, YouTube, wherever it is. And you can support the pod and show off your love for the traitors and the trader by acquiring some podcast merch. Like this wonderful t-shirt I'm wearing, Lindsay. And again, if you're listening, you'll have to watch on YouTube to see what I'm talking about. Or my trader notebook that I've been
Hmm.
taking my notes in on all the lies
Hmm.
that you've been telling, Lindsay. Uh, so that is at thetrader.redbubble.com. There's all sorts of things on there. There's mugs like I've got as well. I'm so merched out, it's ridiculous. And if you want to help the pod keep going, but you don't really want to buy merch, you could visit coffee.com. That's ko-fi.com/Matthew Keeley. And you can contribute a one-off donation of any amount you like. It could be £2. And you don't need to subscribe. It's not Patreon. It's a one-off thing you never need to do again if you don't want to. I mean, do it if you want. Now, Lindsay, it is time
Hmm.
for our own banishment as we conclude the Trade Our Traitor.
Dun, dun,
I am
dun.
going to
Hmm.
introduce something new.
Oh God, right, okay, what is it?
It's
You
really
know I don't like
simple.
surprises.
I've been
Oh,
wearing my little traitor shield this whole
yep,
time, so I'm
yep,
going to hide it in one hand, and
right.
you're going to pick What hand do you think the shield is in? And if you are correct, you get to decide whether to guess first or second. What hand's the shield in, Lindsay?
Right?
This one? That's my
Uh,
right.
yeah, you're right.
Goodness sake. Okay, do you want to guess my lie or first or second?
Well, I'll go second because like normally you know that I've got like such a crappy memory. So when I've called you out, that's what I want to say your lie was. In fact, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah.
When I called you out and said that's a lie,
What was it that you thought I was lying about?
the pink cat.
Oh, the pink hat.
Uh-huh.
That there was something else you thought I was lying about before that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, I'm going to put you out of your misery, and whatever it was wrong. I did think it was a
Okay.
pink hat, and there was something else you thought I lied about. Oh, you thought I lied about 6.1 million people viewing it,
Oh,
and that 7 million viewed those are all true. 7 million people
wow.
watched the finale of last season. 6.1 million people tuned in for this one. All true. Not my
Is that the
lie.
Irish one you're talking about?
No, the
The
last
actual.
UK finale was 7.1 million. Yeah.
Wow.
My real lie, I actually thought you were going to pick something else. I thought that you would think that my sweepstake at work was a lie, but it wasn't. Here's my little bit of paper that says, oh, I don't know if that's going to focus. Oh,
Wait,
it's
do that
upside
with your
down.
hands.
Oh, like I'm an influencer on
Yeah.
TikTok selling stuff.
Okay.
Claire Balding, I did pick it out of a hat, and now I'm like,
Yeah, I
Claire's
wouldn't
probably
have
not going
thought
to
that
win.
was a lie. No.
Okay, I thought I was going to like trick you, but I mean, you
No.
didn't guess my lie anyway. My lie was when I talked about Jennifer Saunders, and I said, oh, she signed up and she dropped out the day before filming. That was
Right,
all made
okay.
up. I
When you were
made it
saying
all
that, I
up.
was like, no, surely not. There'd be more press about that. Right,
Hey,
okay. That's all right. It's all right.
right. I'm a really good traitor hunter, so I know what you lied about.
Go for it.
You have not been watching Tom Daly's knitting videos and
My
attempting to
God, how do
knit.
you know that?
It's I just knew. I knew you would have told me this
How
before
did you know
now.
that?
I just knew. It's like, there's no
How do
way
things
she's
that I don't
knitting.
tell
She's not
you?
knitting a blanket. She's not knitting a blanket. She's not told me.
I'm such a good one as well. Oh,
Well,
okay.
listeners, you can let us know in the comments if you picked us up in our lies. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining me as per our tradition
You're
on this opening ep.
welcome.
And thank you, listeners. I'll be back with coverage of the next episode very, very soon with another guest co-host. Until then, I have a new catchphrase to finish the podcast. Later's traitors.
Wow, that's so Sheldon Cooper.
Bye.
Later, traitors.